As a Japanese housewife living in the US, I want to look at the counterfacts of socialization from unique perspectives.
Have you ever wondered why so many anime characters seem to be sneezing their way through spring? It's not just a cute trope, it's a national phenomenon in Japan, and the story behind it is absolutely fascinating. It involves post-war recovery, a miracle tree, and a massive environmental project that, well, had some unintended consequences. This is the story of how Japan rebuilt itself with cedar trees, and in the process, accidentally created a pollen nightmare. Let's rewind to the end of World War II. Japan was facing a monumental task, rebuilding a nation that had been devastated. Cities were in ruins, infrastructure was gone, and there was a desperate need for resources, especially timber. Wood was essential for everything: rebuilding homes, factories, and even for fuel. The problem was, Japan's forests had been heavily depleted during the war effort. The country needed a fast-growing, reliable source of wood, and they needed it yesterday. Entered the hero of our story, the sugi, or Japanese cedar. This tree was like a miracle plant for post-war Japan. It grows incredibly straight and fast, producing high-quality lightweight timber that's perfect for construction. It's also native to Japan and thrives in its climate. It seemed like the perfect solution. So, the governments launched a massive nationwide reforestation campaign. From the 1950s through the 1970s, huge swaths of land, especially on mountain sites that had been cleared, were planted with nothing but sugi. This was a roaring success. The Green Mountains returned, erosion was controlled, and a sustainable source of timber was secured for the nation's future. It was a symbol of Japan's post-war economic miracle, a green testament to its resilience and foresight. For decades, these forests grew silent and strong, promising a future of prosperity built on their sturdy trunks. Everything seemed perfect. But then, about 30 years later, something strange started happening. Around the 1980s, people started reporting a new, widespread ailment. Every spring, from February to May, millions of people would suddenly start sneezing. Their eyes would itch, and their noses would run uncontrollably. It wasn't just a few, it was a full-blown seasonal misery. Doctors were puzzled at first. What was this mysterious new national disease? Teika yet it kafeng shou, which literally means pollen sickness. And the culprit? You guessed it, our old friend, the Japanese cedar. You see, those millions of cedar trees planted decades earlier had finally matured. And when cedar trees mature, they do what all trees do. They release massive, and I mean massive, clouds of pollen into the air. Because the reforestation effort had focused so heavily on planting just this one type of tree, it created what's known as instead of a diverse forest with different trees pollinating at different times. Japan now had entire mountainsides of cedar trees all releasing their pollen at the exact same time. The result is a yearly pollen apocalypse. On windy spring days, you can literally see yellow clouds of cedar pollen sweeping down from the mountains and blanketing the cities. News channels have daily pollen forecasts right alongside the weather report, telling people the pollen count and whether it's safe to go outside without a mask. It's estimated that today, nearly 40% of the Japanese population suffers from cedar pollen allergies. That's almost 1 in 2 people. It's an ironic twist of fate, isn't it? The very trees that were planted to rebuild the nation and provide for its people are now the source of a yearly plague of discomfort. But the story doesn't end there. Japan is now trying to solve the problem it created. The government has a multi-decade plan to deal with the cedar overload. One approach is to simply cut down the mature cedar trees and replace them with a wider variety of species. Or even better, with new low pollen or pollen-free varieties of cedar that have been specially developed. Think of it like a software update for a forest. Scientists have been working hard to breed cedar trees that produce little to no pollen. The plan is to gradually replace the old Hippalin sugi with these new and improved versions. But as you can imagine, this is a slow and expensive process. We're talking about millions of trees covering vast, often hard-to-reach mountainous areas. It's a project that will take generations to complete. In the meantime, life in Japan during spring is a battle against pollen. People wear special high-tech masks and even pollen-blocking glasses. Air purifiers are a must-have in every home and office. There are countless products sold in drugstores, from nasal sprays to eye drops to throat lozenges, all promising relief from the dreaded cough. People even adjust their daily habits, like avoiding hanging laundry outside to prevent it from being coated in a fine yellow dust. So what can we learn from this? The story of Japan's cedar forest is a powerful lesson in ecology and the law of unintended consequences. It shows how a well-intentioned solution to one problem can sometimes create a completely new one down the line. It highlights the potential dangers of monoculture and the importance of biodiversity in any ecosystem. A diverse forest is a resilient forest, not just for the environment, but for the people who live near it. But it's also a story of human ingenuity. Japan identified a problem, solved it with incredible determination, and is now working just as hard to fix the side effects of that solution. From developing pollen-free trees to the daily pollen forecasts, the country is constantly innovating to coexist with its cedar legacy. So, the next time you see an anime character let out a huge sneeze under a cherry blossom tree, you'll know the real story. It's not just a gag. It's a reflection of a real-life environmental drama that has shaped modern Japan. It's the story of a forest that rebuilt a country, only to make it sneeze for a century. What do you think? Is this one of the most interesting unintended consequences in modern history? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this dive into a little-known piece of Japanese culture and history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories from around the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.